Welcome back to the channel, Guitars, Mods, and Music. I'm Paul, the lovely Vita's behind the camera. Today, we're going to set up Killswitch by a subscriber's request. A subscriber asked if we could do a video on it, and here it is. So the first thing's picking what Killswitch you want to use. Now, I see a lot of guys using this bigger model. Pretty cool. All a Killswitch is a momentary button. It's what they call normally open, meaning if it's not being pushed, the current can flow through. When you push it, it stops the current. And these are arcade buttons. Just like them little games, you see the kids, they're over there jamming away on it. Adults too. You know, they can hit this thing 1,000,000 times, it doesn't break. They're great for it. There's different ones. There's some that will, if you add a 9-volt battery, they'll glow. You know, there's all kinds of different styles of them. I see a lot of guys are using these. These are made by a company called San Juan. Get it on Amazon. This is not a sponsored video. It's just what we do on this channel. And I just pass on the information. What we use, you know, what we do. This smaller one, and they get even smaller than this. This smaller one is from a company called Likely One Way, believe it or not, Likely One Way. It has a little washer and nut to tighten it up. This bigger San Juan has these little clips. They push in, slide it down in there. The pickguard gets between that clip and this top piece. Pretty cool setup, and it fits perfectly with like a 3-ply pickguard. Very nice. For the Telecaster that we're gonna put it in, I think that's too big. I just don't like the look of it. So I'm gonna go with the smaller one. So the first thing you wanna do is figure out your placement. Where do you want it? You know what I mean? Get your guitar and pretend like you're. And every time you do that, just kind of look down there, see where you're hitting. Then stand up. Throw your strap on, stand up and do it. Pretty soon you're gonna figure out, hey, this is where I feel is comfortable. Take and stick a little piece of blue tape right there. Now you know. That's where you like it. That's where it works good for you. Okay, now you got your placement. Now you know where it's gonna go. So at that point, just for reference, I pull out my tape measure. I'm gonna pull off this straight part right here and see what I got. I've got 1 3/4 inches to the center of that little blue tape. Then I'm gonna pull off this little radius right here to the center of that tape. I've got 1 5/8 inches. So any of you Telecaster guys out there, that might be a good location for you. All right, so this is the actual pick guard that we're putting on the Telecaster that we've been building together. So I'm gonna pull that 1 3/4 inches, put a little mark. I'm gonna pull off this radius, 1 5/8 inches, put a little mark. So how big do you want it? We're gonna go with the smaller momentary Killswitch. So I take the washer and the nut off of it. If you have a dial caliper, that's great. Use it. If not, you can take a drill bit, just set it there. Find one that's the same size as the bottom of this, same size as the housing, and you can use that. If you have a dial caliper, they're cheap. If you're gonna work on guitars, you should probably get one of these. They don't cost much. You take that dial caliper, zero it out, put it on there, got 0.61. So 0.62 is 5/8. So we got 0.61. 5/8 bit would work good for you. But what I like to use is these uni bits. And they're marked on here, all the different sizes. So you take your dial caliper if you want to, just to double check. There's 0.60. We had 0.61. There's 0.60. It's setting on the 5/8. And what I do is, it says it there. But if it didn't, I just take my magic marker and I mark it. That way I know where I'm going to stop at with this uni bit. And if you're doing like a Telecaster and you have your pickup in it, then watch you don't get into your wire. Take that uni bit, go to where you measured it out, right in the center, right there. And then take your time. This thing drills really easy. Getting real close there. Double check it. Oh yeah, we're almost there. Perfection. There it is. Love it. Let's go to the next step. All right, so now you got the hole drilled. Set your pick guard on. Line up your screw holes and look and see where you're at there. Well, just by luck, where I liked it is actually right inside of one of these channels. That's excellent. And just for reference for you guys that have these tellies, I'll show you one more time, because that's a great thing, because that's where it's comfortable to me. And I didn't plan that. If it would have been out here, I would have had to drill a bigger hole, make a little hole for the wires. If you measure off of this straight part, it's 1 3/4 inches. And you measure off this radius, it's 1 5/8 inches. Make a mark, that's your center. Drill your hole. You're gonna hit that channel on these tellies. Let's say I was out here somewhere. I'd have to drill the larger hole, and what you want to do is, let's say this is the size bit that we would have had to drill that larger hole out here in the wood with. Okay, take that bit, set it in there, and mark it. You want to give it a little extra for them tongs right there on the bottom. You mark that. Then you take you some tape, put it on there so that you can see it while you're drilling. You drill that down to where your tape's hitting the top of the wood. Out here, wherever it would have been, you know that's your stopping point. And from there, you take a smaller diameter drill bit and you would drill your hole through the side right here until you hit the hole that you made. That would be your channel for your wires to run. Luckily, we're hitting this spot right here. We don't need to make a channel hole. We'll use the one that's already there. We're good to go. Now we got to make sure that these aren't hitting the bottom. These can't hit the bottom. Remember, we shielded this thing. If these hit the bottom, you're going to ground it out. And that's all this does, is grounds out the guitar. Dot, 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 grounds it out. So if it touches the bottom, it's going to ground it out, just like if you push that button, because that shielding is your grounding. So we got to make sure that this isn't going to hit. We got to make sure that we can hook our wires to this without it touching the bottom. Set your pick guard back on there. Line up your screw holes. You can even put a couple screws in it if you want to. And you're going to take a drill. You're going to go right dead center and just make yourself a little mark down there. So now you know what you're working with. You can go about this 2 different ways. You can take a larger bit. What you want to do is you just want to drill down. Make yourself enough room. Make it a little bit lower so that you know that's not going to hit. It's not going to touch. You find the depth that you like, and then you just go right next to it and do it again. About half a hole over. Make yourself a little channel there. And you can use a drill to dress that up a bunch if you want to. Or my preferred way is get you a little Dremel, and you want that router type bit. They'll sell a little box with a bunch of different bits. If you're going to work on guitars, these things come in handy. So you get that Dremel. All right, we got it all routed out. Vita, you want to show them? So now you see that raw wood. We need to put some more shielding tape or paint. You can put shielding paint, get a blow dryer out, hit it with the blow dryer, dry it real fast, or you can use the shielding tape as well and get that covered back up. Got it all re-shielded. Time to install your switch. Drop it in the hole. Comes a little washer, the nut. Put your wires on. I used a green and a black for ground and hot. It could be both green, both black. It doesn't matter which one you put it on, which one of them you put it on. It doesn't matter. I just do that to keep track of what's going on. And I tape them together with my pickup wires. Run them down through the hole. Bring them out the other side. Now I just have these wires on, temporary on here. I haven't soldered them yet for the sake of the video. So get them all pulled through. You can go ahead and screw it down if you wanted. Okay, time for the wiring. A lot of people wire straight out of their output to where they go in, out, and keep on going. You push that down, it breaks the circuit. The bad thing about that, with a lot of switches, when you push it down, you'll hear a little coming through your speakers. Not on all switches, but a lot of them. The best way to do it is you're going to come off of your output jack. You're going to take the ground, you're going to run to one of these lugs. You're going to take the hot from the output jack and run to the other one. It doesn't matter which one. Makes no difference. I used a green for the ground and a black for the hot, just for purposes of keeping everything straight. So here's the green coming from our Killswitch. It's going to come over here, you're going to solder it. Right to the lug that you've got your ground on. Here's the black coming from the Killswitch. You're going to bring it over here. Solder it right to your black coming from the output jack. Using these jumpers we can test it. I got the switch in the center, both pickups are on. Pushing the button. Neck pickup. That's all there is to it. Easiest thing you can wire is that Killswitch. It's as easy as wiring the output jack. It's that simple. All you're doing when you push that down, you're grounding the guitar out, but it's quiet. It's not going to make a noise. That's all it is. You're grounding out the current. Hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for spending your time with us. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'm Paul Hopley. Until our next video, remember, play your guitars, mod your guitars, and make them your own.